Okay, hey everybody, so if you were in our last video, then you remember all this craziness. You also remember me getting a phone call at the tail end of our stream and I had to edit that out! Alright, anywho, so now that that's done, I figured you could use a little bit of extra practice, and I just want to show you a few more ways to look at this stuff that I may not have shown in the other video. Same stuff, nothing new is in this video, it's more practice. Really useful if you just want to feel a little bit better about it. Really useful if you want to practice a little more before your test. But please go back to the other video, do all the practice problems. That should be sufficient to get you through a test. This should be sufficient to have you ace it. Okay? Or well, you know, I mean, your work is what's going to cause it to ace it. I take that back. This ain't going to guarantee you an ace, but this will get you extra practice. And how that extra practice plays out for you is up to you. Okay? Here we go. Here's a way we haven't looked at it. First of all, a quick review, but I want you to watch these back to back. So watch the other video first. It does a good job of laying out those functions in a nice slow manner. Here's a quick recap and then a few other ways to look at it. Remember that what we're really looking for is jealous x's. Okay, we're looking for jealous x's. And what we mean by that is we're looking for an x that repeats itself with a completely different y. This is a big no-no. This is a no-no. This is cheating, okay? Bad. Instead, this is okay. Here's an x. Here's a completely different x. The y's can still be the same, but the x's had better be different. If we see the same x with two different y's, that is jealous x's. That is not a function, okay? Now you try. And I know we did these a million times, but a million times is your friend in math. All right. 2, 3, 2, 4, 0, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, pause me here. I'm gonna give you the answer soon. Remember, each x should have a different, the same x can't have a different y. Okay? All right, pause me now. Remember, if this is confusing, go back to the first video. This is just a recap. This is not where you learn it. You learn it in the first video. All right, here we go. I see the same x. Hold on, let's use a different ink for this. I see the same x with two different y's. That is a no-no. Jealous x's. This is not a function. Big no, okay? I see completely different x's with the same y. That doesn't matter though. They're completely different x's. Remember, we're looking for jealous x's, not jealous y's, jealous x's. And because of that, this is a function, okay? Different x's, same y, but different x's. Remember, we're looking for the same x's with different y's. Fine. So different x. Aha, same x, different y's. Uh-oh, you cheating. Jealous x's, not a function. Okay? And then last one. Same x's, but same y's. This is a function. And in reality, this is just a single point. Because look at it. It's the same point. 1, 1. Let's graph it. This is the same point, y'all. I just wrote the same point 3 times. Of course it's a function. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. All right, got it? All right, so hopefully that's all familiar. If not, go back to the video before. This is not supposed to be an explanation of this concept. The previous video was for that. This is just extra practice. Now let's have a look at just a few problems that look a little different. But remember, they're not different. It's all the same stuff. You're looking for each x to have one y. And if you see an x, in this case 1, that 1 had better be stuck to whatever number came first. Because if that 1 is with some other number, that's jealous x's. That is not a function. It's got to go. It's okay if a different x has a different y. Don't ask me why, but it is. Now, I can tell you why, but we're not doing that right now. But the point is, each x, as long as it's different, can have the same y or can have different y's. It doesn't matter. But if you have this 2, it had better show up with 3 every time. If it shows up with this 4, it's not a function. This 1, it better show up with 1 every time. And indeed it does. It doesn't repeat itself. This 2, it better show up with 1 every time. And indeed it does. It only shows up once. This 3, it better show up with 1 every time. And indeed it does. This 3 only shows up once. Got it? This 1, it better show up with 1 every time. And indeed it does not. It shows up with 4 instead. Got it? Okay, here we go. So let's have a look at another way this could be shown. Sometimes it's shown with like a bubble. Okay? And arrows. So you might see it like this. And maybe they go like 2 and 6. Alright? And then they'll use arrows to point at stuff. Remember, the same thing is happening though. Each x should only have one y it's with. So this 1 had better not be pointing to no other y's. Otherwise, it's jealous x's. Okay? So let's have a look. This right here is jealous x's. Because you have the same x pointing to more than one y. That's a bad time. Compare that with I use the exact same numbers so you can just see what's going on. This x, no problem. This is not a problem because each x is pointing to one y. Now, it just happens to be that these top 2 are pointing to the same y, but the x is only pointing to one y. Here, let me highlight it for you. Let's zoom in. This x points to this one points to this one points to this one. Compare that with here. This one is pointing to this, and it's pointing to this. This is jealous x's. This is not a function. This is a function. Okay, because each x is pointing to one y. Now you try. And here, I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this since we're going to use it a couple times. Remember, after I make these, to pause me and try this on your own. It does you no good to watch me. What will happen if you watch me here is the same as when you watch us when you come to our rooms. You'll feel good in there, and you'll get on that test, and it'll all blow up. You have to do the work, and you have to do it on your own to feel the confidence and to gain the learning. Watching just sets you up to learn it. Doing it actually causes you to learn it. So please do the work. It is everything. Okay, here we go. So fine, 1, 6, 8. Let's put a 10 in here. And let's have these guys. Here, let's put another choice in here. Let's have all these guys point to this one. Alright? And then over here, I'm going to give you 1, 6, and 8. I'm giving you the exact same number so you don't have to try to think about like, Is it something else? I just want you to focus. Okay, pause here. I'm going to tell you what's going on. If you have not paused yet, you need to pause. I'm getting ready to give answers. Okay, here we go. Hopefully, you rewinded back if you needed to in order to figure out what was going on here. Again, this was about figuring out, did any X point to more than one Y? Because if so, it's cheating. That's jealous X's. That is not a function. As long as each X is only pointing to one Y, it doesn't matter if it's the same Y. Each X only points to one Y. Each input only gives out one output. You can't have one input give two different outputs. But as long as each input is giving one output, you're okay. So here we go. This X is giving out a 10. This 6 is giving out a 10. And this 8 is giving out a 10. It's fine. They're still only giving out one answer each. This is a function. This X is giving out a 10 and it's giving out a 20. That is a problem. That is jealous X's. The same input is giving you two different outputs, is giving you two different answers for the same input. That's not a thing. This is not a function. Jealous X's, same X, two different Y's. You already know the deal. We don't want no drama out here, okay? Cool. These two, work on your own. Which, you should be working all these on your own, but, I'm a generous giver. Here we go. Get ready. Okay, give it a shot. Pause here if you haven't already. Remember, do not watch, participate, and watch. We're looking for jealous X's. Each X should be pointing to one Y. Remember, if you ever can't remember which one is which, think the phrase jealous X's. It's the X's we're looking at. Each X should only have one Y, and if it has more than one, it's a problem. You ready to pause? Answers are incoming in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, first of all, this 5 looks good. Oh, that's supposed to be a highlighter. All right, this 5 looks good to go. It's pointing to one answer. This 10 is pointing to 0 and a 2. Jealous X's, not a function. Okay? It's got to go. This X right here is pointing to one answer. Yep. This 8 is pointing to 1, but this 6 right here is pointing to a 1, 2, 3 different answers. That's not a thing. Not a function. Jealous X's. We out. Okay? Now, there is, let's see, is there any other way this could be given to you? Remember that when you're looking at these, you're looking to see that each X has one output. So here's a few other ways you may see it represented, but it's all the same stuff. Trying to clean this up a little bit. Okay, remember, we're looking for the same stuff here. Does each x have a different y? Nothing has changed. The numbers have changed. The way it looks have changed. Nothing else has changed. So, let me fill this in and then you give it a try. Okay. Pause here if you need to. Incoming answers. All right, here we go. First thing I'm looking for is, do we have any x's that are the same? So this is different, this is different, this is different. Okay, this x, and this x are the same. They had better be given the same answer then. 0 and 2. So 1 gives us a 0 and it gives us 2. That's not a thing. Jealous x's, not a function. We're moving on. All right, so I see a 1, 2, -1, great. Oh, I see another 1. They better be given the same thing. And indeed they do. They both give 0. Okay then, this is fine. This is a function. I have 2 of the same x's, sure, but they're giving the same output. This is okay, no problem, this is a function. All right, I see a 1, 2, -1, and a 5. Okay, these are all different x's. But Mike, there's 2 of the same y's. So, we said jealous x's, not jealous y's. For those reasons, as long as the x's, as long as the same x is giving the same answer, we're okay. But if you have the same x give a different answer, that is a problem. So all the x's are different. This is a function. I see no problems here. I see a problem when I see the same x give 2 different answers. That is a problem. That is jealous x's. X's. And it is not a function. Okay? Alrighty. Hopefully that gave you a little more practice on this. Again, just go back to the previous problem if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about evaluating functions. Okay? All right.